Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. March 18th, it goes down. Madison Square Garden, New York. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You guys seen the title clicked on the video. I mean, these Takis, they're good, and these little Takis chips. But middleweight showdown, the number 1 and number 2 guy, the super champion, Gennady, and no guy, Mac, no, not. And Danny Jacobs, the Miracle Man. And he's the underdog in the fight. From last time I checked, what it was listed at, he's an underdog. So we'll see if he can pull off a miracle. Now, the thing I told you, I haven't really heard much from this fight. Like in terms of promotion, they had the Knicks game where they both made an appearance, and then they kind of just went to their training camp. So it's been kind of quiet. It's good for the fighters' sake because they're probably just dialing in and focus and make sure they have a solid camp, because this is obviously a big test for both of them. Even for Golovkin, he has a lot of amateur experience and background, but most people believe this is his tallest order, his best win if he can beat a guy with the power, athleticism, some amateur experience as well in Danny Jacobs. And then obviously this is a second chance for Danny Jacobs. He fought Dmitry Pirog, came up short in that fight, and this is his chance to kind of dethrone another Eastern European who is from Kazakhstan, who probably has more of a notorious reputation and more popular than Pirog. So this would be a great win, obviously the best win of Jacobs' career, and he has some, like the Quillen was probably his best win right now. So I'm looking forward to it. You guys seen the title. They are doing the random Vada testing. Shout out to the WBC. Their whole Vada testing clean boxing program is phenomenal. And their champion, Deontay Wilder, is a prime example of why it's phenomenal to me. Because his last 2 opponents both failed this program for something, right? And that was Alexander Povetkin, who failed in the Wilder fight with meldonium, a Russian-made drug, right? That gives you advantages in the endurance and agility department, right? And then he later failed another drug test in a WBC eliminator versus Bermane Stiverne with a different drug, Ostarine. And then most recently, Gerald Washington became the late replacement because the Polish fighter, Alexander Wawarski or whatever, failed his drug test with an anabolic steroid. So that's just a microcosm of what could happen. And those are heavyweights, so one punch can be debilitating, you know what I mean? And I don't want to see these fighters, like, obviously I'm a sucker for a good fight and a barn burner and all that, but I'm not trying to see any of these fighters permanently mangled or paralyzed or in a coma and stuff. It's not worth all that. You know what I'm saying? And God forbid it happens regardless, because it can happen even if the fighters are clean. But you know what I mean? You probably increase the likelihood or the danger if one person is on something. And that's just because it gives them an unfair advantage. If 2 people are fighting, their conditioning should pull them through whatever point of the fight. But one person shouldn't have some added enhanced benefit from a drug that your body doesn't naturally produce that gives them an extra second wind or more strength or power or the endurance and the ability to go through crazy drills and repetitions more so than the human body would allow for. That's not an even playing field. So I really like the WBC, their standpoint with their champions, to try to make sure that this is on an even playing field. Danny Jacobs and Golovkin, they both have too much power. So although it's a great fight, let's see a great fight on an even playing field. So I'm glad that both fighters are partaking in this, and I'm glad that the WBC is doing this, because there's a lot of people, I do videos and they're like, oh, but it's not 100%. That's life. Nothing is 100%. Yes, there's ways to circumvent any test. You know what I mean? There's laws and ordinances that are meant to protect, but it's not going to be 100%. Like, let's say drug trafficking. There's laws against that, but people are going to always find a way to smuggle drugs into the country or find loopholes or this and that and stuff their luggage or whatever they do. But trust me, it's better than having complete anarchy where we didn't have any kind of laws or any kind of judicial system. It's just everything goes. So we need these laws and different rules in place. And there's always ways around different things and loopholes. Just like with taxes, there's a lot of rich people who find ways and loopholes and tax breaks and different things they can do so they don't end up paying that much tax. So there's always ways around infrastructures and laws and ordinances and testing. I know I used to work retail. I used to work at Lowe's, and they do sometimes periodic drug tests, or if they suspected someone's on drugs, then they can test you at any point. That's part of your employee disclosure when you sign on, that you agree to that they can test you at any time. And they have the test on site right then and there, so they can, and all the management knew how to administer the test. And if you got in an accident, like when you're on the forklift or using the heavy equipment and then you damage something, they immediately drug test you. And the reason they do that is because you're immediately terminated from that point. You know what I mean? And that certain things, if you get hurt at work, it's your liability. But then if they drug test you and you fail a drug test, or I think I said that wrong. If you crash into something and create damage, right? Or if you get hurt on the job, it's their liability, right? But if they drug test you immediately, you get hurt at the job. Let's say you like tripped and fell down a ladder. The Lowe's would have to pay for that. You could be on workers' comp and stuff like that. But if they drug test you and find out, oh, this dude was high off marijuana, something that's against company policy, then it's your fault, and you're gonna get fired on top of that, right? And they're not responsible for you tripping. It's a way out for the companies and stuff like that. So there's ways around stuff like that, but it's better to have something in place, and that's what the WBC is doing, and they're taking a stand, an aggressive stand. And there's a lot of people, like I said, when I do these videos talk about drug testing, they always talk about, oh, this Wada's better, or USADA and Vada doesn't catch anyone. But clearly Wilder's opponents keep getting caught, right? So it is what it is. They're catching something, and it's still better than the state mandated test like the Nevada State Athletic Commission, or the very, very basic test that, you know, because you have to look at it this. The state testing, to my knowledge, is like a scheduled test in class, in a school curriculum or whatever. The Vada testing that Triple G and Jacobs are doing is random. They could show up at your gym, they could show up to your house, they have the addresses to all that. So it's more of a pop quiz. So that's how you catch people off guard, because sometimes you don't have time to flush things out of your system or cycle off of a steroid. I don't take steroids. I never use steroids, but I know people that have, and there's cycles that they use. Like let's say there's a bodybuilding competition that they want to compete in, and if they do testing, they know what cutoff point they have to stop injecting, and then just go natural from that point on. Not natural in the sense of they haven't used drugs before, but natural. It's like a cycle on and off. It's like a credit card billing cycle. And if you're into that world, you know when and what you can do, or the people supplying you can give you information like that. So those state tests, they're basically a joke in comparison to any kind of random blood and urine test, because it's planned and you know what to expect and when to expect it. Okay, after the fight, before the fight, blah, blah, blah. But these other tests, they could show up at your gym. Like, it looks like Golovkin might be in Big Bear or something in the picture you guys seen in this video. So it's just a random. They set up shop. The Vada people come in and collect the samples. So this is a good example. I like this, especially in the high profile fights. Golovkin, Jacobs, one of the best fights this year that's already on the books. And may the best man win. Both guys have tremendous power. So I like to see that they're doing it clean as much as possible, just by doing tests like this. Like, again, there's ways to get around and mask, but a lot of times if you're guilty, not all the time, but if you're guilty, you might not even want to do the Vada stuff. You might not even take the fight. You know what I mean? I talked to Andre Ward personally, and without mentioning any names, Ward told me that before they picked Alexander Brand, some people gave him flack. They had opponents in mind, but they refused to do the drug test. So they got offered career high paydays, and they're like, no, I'm not doing no type of drug testing. So that's kind of questionable, right? So some people would do that if they know they're on something. Like Alexander Povetkin, he wanted to test with his own agency in Russia. Like, oh yeah, well, that sounds legit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to test with whatever agency. You might have them paid off. You might be in good terms with them where they'll notify you first if you fail or something. You know what I'm saying? That's suspect. Versus like a world organization, Vada, and stuff like that. So good to see that. March 18th, it goes down. Let me know who you're picking to win. I'll definitely provide more and more coverage on the channel for this particular fight, Golovkin-Jacobs. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.